Yes, hello everyone. I hope I'm audible and visible, right? Can someone give me the confirmation? In the meanwhile, let me share my screen. Okay. Yep. Hi everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Not enough. Good evening, Ratnashar Ghosh. Good evening, everyone. So, all clear, right? Can anyone give me the confirmation? Am I audible properly? Am I visible? And is my screen shared? Is my screen visible properly? Can anyone give me the confirmation? Okay, ठीक great. So, right, welcome to day 2 of the bootcamp session. Uh, before we get going, any doubts from the previous session, right? Uh, just give me the confirmation. Did you guys revise yesterday's class, right? What all was taught yesterday? I think we we did note, right? We did variables, right? What are variables? They're just a special kind of containers that are used to store values. And then after that, we did some basic phenomena, right? Why is JavaScript used? What is the difference between Java and JavaScript and things like that? So, is there any doubt from the previous session? Do let me know. So, in the meanwhile, people are joining. We'll dedicate 2 to 3 minutes for the doubt session, and then we'll get going. All right. So, any doubts from the previous session? Let me know. And any doubts from any of the like anything related to anything JavaScript, you can ask me for the first 5-10 minutes. Not 10 minutes, only 5 minutes. Then we'll get going with the lecture. Okay. Difference between Java and JavaScript. Okay, so as I told you, right, JavaScript is used to write client-side applications, right? It can interact with your browser, whereas Java, on the other hand, is just it's just a normal programming language, right? It is used to solve data structure problems, whereas you can and also you can use Java for the backend part, right? You have a framework called as Spring Boot that is based on Java. So there you have Java, right? But you cannot do backend in JavaScript. JavaScript is only used for client-side applications, whereas Java can be used as a backend if we use it with a Spring Boot framework. As simple as that, right? प्रमोद सेज VS कोड टर्मिनल का कंफ्यूजन था तो मैंने नोटपैड में किया तो मुझे वो दूसरे बार बता दो ठीक है प्रमोद आई विल as it is I will revise the commands, right? So today also we'll be working on node.js, so I will just tell you what commands to write and what all commands not to write, right? So don't worry about the commands, that will be catered up. ठीक है. Any other doubts, guys? Any other doubts apart from this, apart from the terminal and difference between Java and JavaScript? Samarjit, we have just started now. We have not done anything. I was just waiting for some people to join and just getting to some doubts from the previous 2 days, from the previous day, right? So if you have any doubt, you can let me know. Acha. So what all we'll do today, I'll just quickly write the topic. So we'll be starting off with loops, right? You must have seen loops in C++, Java, Python. So now we'll study what loops are in JavaScript, and after that we'll study something about functions, right? So functions are a very integral part of JavaScript. They are very widely used. So we'll do the functions as well, and if time allows, we'll also do objects and arrays, right? Object and arrays. Object one might be a new concept to you, right? But not to worry, we'll cover objects as well, right? As told you. Yes, and now I'll also tell you how to add external JavaScript. I'll do that, don't worry. Okay. Chalo, great. With that being said, let's start today's session, right? So starting with loops, right? Loops. By the way, can anyone give me the confirmation? Is the font proper? Shall I zoom in a bit? I think it's 100%. The best I can do is this. Okay, sir. Lecture link is not sent on WhatsApp today. Is it? Okay, just give me a second. चलो ठीक है. If that's the case, अगर link नहीं किया है तो can you please tell your friends or can you just give them a short message that the session has started? that so that the rest of the people don't miss out? Can anyone do that for me? Can you just type? Just remind them that the lecture has already started. Achha, it was sent yesterday. Okay. Okay, no issues. Kindly just give them a reminder if any one of you can do that. Just give them a reminder that the session is started, and if they would like to join, they can. I don't want that they should miss out on today's lecture, because today will be a very important topic to be done, right? So yeah. ठीक है, चलो ठीक है. Let's get started, right? So today we'll be starting off with loops, right? Loops. Anyone has got any idea, right? What? ठीक है. Anyone got any idea what do we mean by loops? So I mean, it's very simple and very common, right? It is used to iterate. It is used to iterate on a statement, right? Statement multiple times, right? Iterate on a statement multiple number of times, okay? And they are used to perform repeated actions, as you can see, or they are used to perform repeated actions. Okay, so that's what loops are. I mean, we have loops in C++, we have loops in Java, similarly we have loops in JavaScript as well, right? So a quick question from you guys: can anyone let me know how many types of loops are they aware of, and how many types of loops do you know, apart from, like, I'm not giving any hints, just can anyone let me know what are the different types of loops that you guys are aware of? Anyone? Used to execute code iteratively and multiple times. Exactly. Correctly said by Aditya. Correctly said by Montu Mani as well, right? Yes. I have answers from Akhilesh. I have answer from Hemant. He says for, do, while, and while. Okay, for, do, while, for, do, while. Okay. No, Ashish, if else, they're not loops, they're conditional statements, right? So don't get confused between the conditional statements and the loops, right? So they're two different things. Yes. So as told by most of you, we have not, so just to be clear, we do not have only 3 types of loops here, right? We have multiple types of loops. Okay. So the first one here is while loop, as right guessed by most of you. The second one here is for loop. It is for loop, right? This you also know, right? We have been doing it in various programming languages. Now, the third one here is do while loop. Yeah. So these 3 loops, I am pretty much sure that you must have at least encountered at some point of your lives, right? But the difference here is we also have other types of loops, right? The first one here is for each. This is exclusively for JavaScript. So all these loops, I'll tell you, all these loops, right? They are common. They yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. They are common in Java, I would say, in C++ as well, in C as well, and in Python also, right? In fact, there could be other languages also in which you have these things, but yeah, this is for sure you have these languages here, right? But you also have a for each loop. I'll tell you how do we use these loops. I'll just give you a practical example as well, right? While coding. But for now, I'm just telling you the theory part. We also have a for each loop. Right? We have a for each loop as well. Okay. And we also have for in. We also have for in. We also have for off. Right? We have for in, we have for off as well, right? So let's just skip the theory part. Let's just directly jump to the coding part as well, right? I'm just quickly opening my VS Code. I hope everyone now has VS Code installed, plus the Node.js software also installed on their machines, right? I hope it should be there by now, because if you will not be having Node.js, if you won't be having VS Code or any other compiler for that matter, you'll not be able to code. And if you will not be able to code, that means you're good for nothing, right? You have to make sure that you are coding each and every day. That should be the right. I can tell you the theory. I can just go tell you the theory and just go away. It won't benefit you at any point of your life, right? You have to just get going. You have to just code along with me so that things get much clearer, right? ठीक है. अच्छा, for those who are getting confused, what is terminal and how do we use terminal? So a terminal is a quick, I would say, command line. It provides you a command line interface to write codes, right? So how do we get terminal? There's a shortcut. Either you can press Control J, right? Or either you could go to run. No, just give me a second. Huh. Or you could go to, what was it? I think it was, yeah. The first option is you could just press Control J if you're using Windows, or Command J if you're using Mac. The second one is click on here, click on terminal, and just type a new terminal, right? So this terminal will open up at the bottom of the page, right? I hope this terminal part is clear to you now. Okay. I told you about loops, right? So the first loop is for loop, right? Very simple. It has got three parts. I'll just quickly pull along. I'll just say for var I equals to 0, I less than equal to, I would say 10, and I plus plus, right? And I'll just, let's suppose a very basic example, I'm just printing the values from 0 to 10, right? I'll just console.log I, right? And now see here, what commands am I using to run this software, run my code, right? I'm just typing in the keyword called as node. And after typing in this keyword, I'm just typing the name of the file. What's the name of the file here? It's index, right? So this is the name of the file that I have, index.js. You do not write .js. You just type the name of the file, not the extension, right? And as soon as you click enter, you'll get all the numbers from 0 to 10, right? I think it is very understandable. You must be knowing. So I'll just quickly come to this part right here, and I'll just paste this code right now. Very important part here is it has got three steps. The first one is declaration. This is yeah. So this right here, you have the declaration part, right? This is the conditional part, and this is the increment part, right? So what is it? It is the declaration part. This right here is the condition part, right? And the last one is increment. It could be increment, it could be decrement, it could be even multiplication, it could be division, it could be anything, but it has to be some operations, right? If I will not do I plus plus here, my loop will go into infinite and it will just keep on running. It will never it will never terminate, right? So yeah, right. Now just quickly coming to while loop, right? So how do we write while loop? For while loop, first you have to declare a variable. Let's suppose I declare a variable called as var I equals to 0, right? Acha, I have a quick question, right? What if I do while I is less than equal to 10, I just do console.log I, right? So I want you guys to just suggest me the output, right? What according to you would be the output for this statement? Anyone in the chat box? Can I have your answers, please? Sir, I have problem in VS Code when I write node file name, it does not show the output. Samarji, just try to check whether node has been installed, or do one thing, just type on this command. Just type in node -v, right? If you get the version of your node, that means it has been successfully installed. If you get some errors here, that means you have to reinstall the node.js, right? So please make sure that you're typing in this command. Okay, so I'm getting Samajit says infinite loop, Ayush says 0 to 10, Anurag says 0 to 10, okay, Nitin Saval says 0 to 10, Pooja Kamate says 0 to 10, Sneha says 0, Ayush says infinite, okay, Utpal says infinite because it will be less than 10, okay, 0 to 10 will be printed on each line. Chalo. Any other answers? Anyone would like to add on? Nikhil says 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, okay, 10 times, okay. Hitansh says 0 to 10. Anthula Anji says 0 to 10. 0 infinite times, 0 infinite times, infinite. Yes, right? So what is happening here? Acha, let me just forget, let's forget about the output, right? Let me just take a screenshot of it and let me just come here, right? So this is what you have here. This is the loop that you've got here, right? So let's think as a human mind, what will be executed, right? So first I declare a variable, right? That's called a declaration step, right? That's a declaration. right? Please pardon me for my handwriting, right? Okay. Now the next step here is the condition, right? The next step here is the condition part. All right. Now, this is the executable part that will be executed. So this is referred to as the code execution. Okay. Now, so what will happen now? Let's suppose I check the condition. Is my I less than equal to 10? Right? It is right because I is initialized to 0. So yes, it is. So I'll just console.log I. What is I? It's 0. Right? Now I again come, because it's a while loop, it will be keep on going until this condition is satisfied. So it'll again check, is my 0 less than equal to 10? Is it? No, it's not. So it'll just come here and it will just print 0 again. Then again it will go to while loop. Again it will check the condition 0. Is it less than equal to 10? Yes, it is. What will happen? I'll get console.log I. So again 0 will be printed. So as you can see, right, this I'm never incrementing this I right here. So it will automatically be print. It will automatically print 0 infinite number of times. I hope it's clear now. So students that who said 0 to 10, no, you are wrong, right? It will be printing 0, that to infinite number of times, because we are not incrementing, right? So in for loop here, we use this condition here in the declaration part itself, or in the, what do you say, in the first line itself, right? So this was the declaration part and it was increasing on each step, but now here it is not. So let me just come to VS Code and let me just show you the output right here. Let me just clear the screen first. CLPAR, clear. Yeah. Now I'm just writing node and the name of the file, that is index. Now if I click on 0, so see, 0 has been printing infinite number of times, right? As you can see, it is still now printing 0. It will just go into vicious cycle of printing zeros, and I will never be able to just reach my ending part. So I have to explicitly stop the terminal, and to stop the terminal you have to just press Ctrl+C. I think it's not working. Yes, it is now working, right? So as I have to explicitly just close my terminal in order to stop the code. That is the blunder that I did, right? Now if I do I++ here, in that case it will just print the numbers that I want to print. In that case it will print numbers from 0 to 10. So now if I do here, if I come to node index, so this here is the number that I wanted to print, right? So this was while loop for you. Again, so similarly you also have do while loop. That's also nothing, that is in fact not even used in today's programming concepts. So do while, you first mention the statement that you want to do, and then you execute the statements. That is do while for you, right? It's also the same. Yes, Muthu. Now it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 till 10. As simple as that. Right? So I hope it's clear. How do we use for loop and how do we use while loop? Acha. You must have seen that I have done I++ right here, right? So what is that? Give me a second. Yeah. So let's suppose I come here. I come to this part. I declare a variable. Let's suppose I equals to 0. And I just do console.log I++. Right? So what would be the output here? Anyone? What would be the output here in this case? Can anyone let me know the output and the reason why this output is coming to you? This is a very, please zoom in visual code. Okay. Is it fine now? Okay. Mutan says 0. Samarjit again says infinite. Ashish says 1. Mutan 0. Ajay Raj says 1. Kitang says 1. Mohit says 0 and 1. Okay. Okay. 0 because it is post increment. Purvi says again 0. Mohit says 0. Why? The reason also, I do not want that you just simply simply guessing the answer. I want the exact reason. It's a very important interview question. That's why it came to my mind. I'm just trying to figure out why it came, right? It's an increment operator. Yes. 0 plus 1 equals to 0. Is it? Is 0 plus 1 is 0? I think it's 1, right? Yes, right? So, okay. I think I have mixed answers. Let me just come here and let's just see the output right here. Okay, let me just clear the screen once again. Yes, let me just type node and index. Right, the answer here is 0. I'll tell you, I'll explain you, don't worry. Right, why is it 0 for those of you who are confused? Okay, so let's come here. Okay, so everyone be with me here, right? So I have declared a variable, right? That's the declaration step. I hope everyone knows what is it. And I have declared I to be 0, right? Clear till now. Now I have console.log I plus plus, right? So exactly what it does is it starts reading the statement from this part, from the leftmost part. It will just see that what am I consoling? I'm consoling I plus plus, right? So what has happened? Like it has as soon as it saw console.log I till this part, the statement got executed, right? The statement got executed and it got printed. And what was the value of I when it got executed? It was 0. But after it got printed, now the value has increased to 1. So for those of you who are confused, so the exact answer would be the value of I. No, not the value of I. Yeah, the value of I that will be printed, it will be 0, and value, the variable I will hold 1 because it got incremented to 1 after printing the value of 0. So you get 0 as an answer here, but if you just try to console.log after it gets printed, you'll see the answer 1 there. Right, I have a very common example. So let's suppose I take var I equals to 0, right, and I take var b equals to I plus plus. Achha. Now tell me what will be the answer for this one. If I do console.log b, what will I get here? Anyone? Anyone? What will be the answer here? First it print 0, then it went to second line of code, then increment occurs. So I want the answer here. What will be the answer? Will it be 0? Will it be 1? What will it be? Okay, Aditya, Mohit, Ajay, thanks Patel, Mutun, Ayush, Ashish. Okay. I'm again getting a mix of answers, right? Someone said 14. Oh, how 14, Venki? 1 will be the answer. Ayush and Aditya are spamming. Okay, guys, no need to spam. Let's come, right? Let me just type in a node and the file name. I get the answer here as 0. I get the answer here as 0, right? Why 0? Chalo, let's see why 0. Here I have this. Okay, I have this part right here, or let's paste it here itself. Okay, now let's see. See, you have variable I, right? It has been initialized to 0 at this point of time, right? As simple as that. Now you've got a variable b, right? Now variable b, what is it, right? Again, it is kind of a post increment, right? So why is it post increment? Because my variable b will store the value that is still here only. It will store the value of I, that is 0, and after storing, not b, my I will get increased to 1, right? So most of you were wrong here. I think Vani says 0 to 10. That is not even possible, right? How can we print 0 to 10? I'm not even using a while loop here, or any of the loops here, right? So how will it be? How will it be 0? Because see, variable again, b is again storing a post increment, right? It is storing this value, and after storing, then it is getting incremented by 1. So if I do console.log b, b is again 0, right? I can understand that I has increased by 1, but b is still 0. So if I do console.log I, now I should get, I would say 1, right? So now I got 1, right? But not in the case of b, because b itself again is having post increment, and that is the only reason that it will store 0 at this point of time, not 1, right? Karishma says same. What same, right? You I think someone said 0. But most of you said no, most of you said 1 in that case. I think I got a correct answer from Lamotech. I got correct answer from Akhilesh, and Aditya and Aisha spamming. They were confidently wrong. But yeah, this is a very good learning from you, right? Learning from here, right? Right. So I hope the answer is clear to you. Why is it 0 and why is it 1? Is it clear, guys? Yes or no? Can I have something in the chat box? Muthan says yes. Okay. Muthan says me too. Yes. Shout out to you, Muthan. Then it's Nathan, right? Not Muthan. My bad. Okay. But how I++ is in same line and don't even have space between them. So see, Utpal, what is happening here is I can understand that it's in the same line, but as I told you, right, your compiler will start interpreting the lines of code from left to right. As soon as it sees where b equals to I, till this part only the value will be stored right here. And after it has been stored, then the value of I will be incremented. Right? So b will be as it is, but I will be incremented by 1 because we are doing a post increment right here. Right? That is the only reason why it is there. Sir, can I get links for yesterday's class? Safal, the link for yesterday's class is there on the YouTube channel. So go on to the LetsUpgrade YouTube channel. Go search for the JavaScript playlist that is currently going on, and you'll get the playlist there. Samarjit says, sir, now I is 1, but in previous code I is 0. How? Please explain. Acha, see Samarjit. In the previous code, right, what did I do? In the previous code, I did console.log I++. Right? So what is happening here? It is just printing the value. So I told you, right, it will start executing from the leftmost part. So it will read this line, it will read this line, it will read this line, read. And as soon as it hits a variable, right, console.log I, it will just print the value of I and it will just get out. After printing, then only the value of I will be incremented. So that is why we are getting 0 here. But if I do this, right, I did var b equals to I++. So b has 0. But after I do I++, right, I'm now moving to the next line. After I move to the next line, before that, the value was incremented already, right, in the effort methods. Right, so that is the only reason why we are having 1 here and not 0. Right? So will you teach map and for each? I'm not sure because again, it will be a very time consuming one and these two are very advanced methods. So I'm not sure, but yeah, let's see. If time allows, we'll do that also. Chalo, okay. Now, same is the and now same is the case with pre-decrement. Now, if in the same case, if I do this one, right, let me comment out this part. Instead of I++, now if I do plus I, now in this case, 1 will be printed. Why 1? Because again, right, console.log plus I. That means it is seeing the operator first and then it is seeing then it is reading the value of the variable. In this case, 1 will be printed. As simple as that. But again, if I do this, so why will it be printed? Why will it be printing what you say 1? Sorry, 0, because it sees the value of I first, and as soon as it sees the value, it will just print it. As simple as that. It cannot get more simpler than this, right? So I hope it's clear. And similarly, you could also do minus plus. It behaves the same way. So if I do this one, now it will print -1, and if I do 1 minus, then also it will print 0 because as I said, right, we'll just read this value here. Right? Is it clear? Is it are things clear? What do you mean by post increment? What do you mean by pre-increment? What the values will be printed if I use post increment? What the values will be printed if I use pre-decrement? Right? Is it clear? Plus what's going to happen? Yes. Okay, she says clear. Lemotech says clear. What about others? By the way, this is a very important interview question, right? It has been asked to me many of the times, right? It can be, you can also encounter this problem statement at any phase of your life. So please make sure to clear all the basics first. And after you're done with the basics, then you're good to go with the advanced part. Right? Just give this. Okay. Parthi says, can you explain while loop? In while loop, there is less than equal to 10. Then how it is printing 0 infinite times? Uh, I think you're watching the recordings. You're not on live, right? It's printing. It's printing 0 infinite times because I have not incremented I. Right? I have to do I plus plus, and only it will print the answer from 0 to 10. Okay. So we are asking b equals to plus plus I. Answer will be b equal to 1. Let's see. So you're saying that b will be plus plus I. Yeah. In this case, the value of b will be yes. The value of b will be. Achha, you tell me. You guys tell me what will be the answer here in this. Yes, I was thinking it will be 1, and I'm learning from 6 months. Thanks. No issues. So I told you, right? These are the basic concepts that are oftenly asked in interviews, and people tend to get confused in that. I'm glad that I was able to help with this. Chalo. Everyone says one, 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 one. Yeah. Okay. I think you guys are going great, right? You are understanding the concept, and as said by most of you, not most of you, all of you, the answer will be 1 here, right? And the reason here is quite obvious because we are doing pre-increment here, not post-increment, right? So this part here is why we are printing plus plus, why we are printing 1 here, right? So I think most of you did this one correctly, right? That's really awesome. I think you guys are going great. Great. After this one, we have something that we call as the heart of JavaScript, right? Can anyone guess that? What what things what do we call the heart of JavaScript? Anyone? I mean, not one because it is pre-increment, one because your explanation is on time. Array, thanks so much. Thanks. Chalo, ठीक है. So yeah, the next concept that we'll be doing is they are called as heart of JavaScript, and as correctly said by Abhishek, by Ashish, yes, these are called as functions, right? Not functions, functions, right? Uh, Telling from my personal experience, right? 95% of the codes that you write in JavaScript, they are based on functions, right? Not even 95. I would say even 99% of the codes that you write in JavaScript, they are based on functions. Each and everything that you write, let it be a simple addition, right? Let it be two numbers and you're just calculating the sum of those numbers. You will do that with the help of functions, right? So coming on to functions, can anyone let me know what do you, according to your understanding, what do you even mean by functions, or what are functions here? Anyone? What are functions? Anyone? Let's see who has got an answer to that one. Are bologe ya dil dil bhejte? We have these emojis also nowadays. Acha. I got first answer. I got it from block of code for reuse, right? Block of it stores some lines of code. Happy to learn, sir. Okay. I thought you're giving the definition of function. So, thanks, Krishna. Thanks for that. Right? Code that is used to perform any task. Function are a block of code for a specific task. Task to small part can get answers with different so by function. We can execute large code without writing it again and again. Yes. Okay. I think you're mostly there. So functions are nothing. Functions are functions are used to, I would not say used to, I would say functions are a block of code that gives us the flexibility to reuse it, reuse it multiple number of times, right? So functions are just a block of code, right? Any block of code. I'll just show you the example. They're just a block of code that are used to that gives you the flexibility to reuse it and just use it multiple number of times. Again, it's the same thing, reusing it and using multiple number of times. I've just mentioned it twice, right? So the question here comes up is, how do we declare functions? How do we declare functions, right? So how do we do that? For that, we first of all have to, we have a keyword called as function, right? We mentioned the keyword called as function. Uh, a quick, I would say, a bonus tip. There are there are many types of functions in JavaScript, right? Unlike the ones in C++ or Java, where you have you only have a single kind of function. In JavaScript, you have anonymous functions, right? You have got arrow functions, right? You have got named functions. You have got multiple functions, but we will be only doing the function. We will be only doing functions that are most widely used, and those are that are very common, right? So this syntax that I'm telling you are used to declare a named function, right? This is called as a named function because we are naming the function here. There are also anonymous functions. Anonymous functions are functions that do not require any name. You can also do that in JavaScript. I told you, right? JavaScript is such a beautiful language that it will help you with each and everything that you can, right? So yes, Ayush, exactly. That's how we write an anonymous function, right? But we do not. I do not want to confuse the audience right here, so we'll be just going with the very basic. So functions, you have a keyword called as a function here, right? With that, you write the name. You write the function name. Yeah, function name. Yes, Abhishek. Mostly our functions are used now. Yes. Yeah. Mostly arrow functions are used. I was just saying that these are very basic functions, right? In order to understand arrow functions, you need to have an understanding for the normal functions. If you just directly jump to arrow functions and you're not aware of what normal function does, then it will just be a blunder, right? So that's why I'm going with the normal function, right? Right. So it's very simple. Similar to any other programming language, you have a keyword called as function and you have a function name. So let's just quickly come here. Let me just declare a function again, and the name of the function. Let's suppose I want to name a function. Let's suppose fn, right? Then I'll just type in two round brackets and two curly brackets. And here, let's suppose I declare a variable where a equals to 10, where b equals to, let's suppose, 20, and let's suppose I'm consoling dot. I'm just printing out the values of a plus b. Acha, again, a quick question, right? I know I asked right a huge lot of questions, but again, a quick question here is, what do you think would be the answer for this one, for this piece of code? Anyone? What do you think would be the answer for this one? Samajit says 10. Is a plus okay? Ashish says nothing. Okay. Gautam says 30. Your better coach says no answer with a very nice emoji. Bong vibe says 10, 20. Okay. Mohit says 30. Guru says nothing. Uh, not enough. Say, not enough is there, right? Nothing. No answer. We have not declared. Yes. Okay. Most of you are there, right? It will not print anything, right? Why will it not print anything? The reason is very simple. Because in order to use a function, right? In order to use a function, you also have to declare. No, not declare. That's not called declare. That's not called declare. That's called invoke. You have to invoke a function. Okay. In order to use a function, you have to invoke a function. And how do you invoke a function? It's very simple. You just type in the function name, whatever the function name is, with these two round brackets, right? So if I come here, I've not invoked a function, right? If I try to again run my code, I'll get nothing, right? I got nothing. But as soon as I invoke it, how do we invoke it? We invoke it by typing the name of the function and just typing in 2 round brackets, right? So here we have, and here we get 30 here, right? So how is it? I'll just tell you, right? Let me just come here. And with functions, we also have 2 very important keywords right here, right? So we have a thing, we have a screenshot here. So this part here is the function, right? We have declared a variable A, we have declared a variable B, and we are just trying to print the sum of these 2 variables. That is 10 plus 20. It will be 30 here. It will be 30, right? So this piece of code, forget this line for now. Let's suppose I do not have this line, right? This piece of code right here will be absolutely a dead block of code. If we are not invoking our function with the help of this line, it will just be a dead code that will just be there. It will not be executed, right? In order to execute a function, you have to invoke the function. And how do we invoke a function? We invoke a function like this, right? So how will your compiler interpret it? Yeah. So how will your compiler interpret it? It'll just read this function. Okay, so it'll just see that, okay, you have to get a function, good, you have to get 2 variables, and you're just trying to print those values, right? It'll just leave that aside. It'll not even touch it. Now, as soon as it encounters this statement right here, again it'll go to this function, right? It'll match. Okay, so I have invoked a function. Great. What is the name of the function that I have invoked? It is fn. So it'll just go to the fn function. It'll go here. It'll come here, and it will just execute these 2 lines of codes, these 3 lines of codes, as simple as that, right? And very important part, what are these calls? What are the, like, you obviously can type in some values right here. I'll tell you how. But these 2 brackets that you write while invoking a function, right, they are called as arguments. It very important, very much asked in the interviews. What is the difference between an argument and a parameter? So this right here is called as a parameter, right? People tend to get confused, right? They are not able to just get the difference between an argument and a parameter. It's quite simple, right? As you can see, arguments are declared when we invoke a function. So this is the function invocation. Whereas parameters are declared when we declare a function, right? This is the declaration part. Yes, we can, right? So I'm just coming to that as well. Okay. No, they're not called parentheses, right? But they are called as arguments, right? This is the argument and this is the parameter. So now if anyone asks you what is the difference between arguments and parameters, now you guys know what to answer and what to do. Ayush, yes, it will take the memory. It's just that it will not compile it, as simple as that, right? So let me take another example. In this case, we will send some values here. Let me just take some values. Let me just take 10. Let me just take 20, right? And here, let me just take A. Let me just take B, right? And simply, I'm just doing var A plus, right? So let me just run this code again. So I get 30 as the answer here, right? So again, I just want you guys to answer this part, right? So let me just come here. Let me just paste out this part. So this is statement number 1. This is statement number 2, right? Now I want you to tell me what is this called and what is this called, right? What is statement 1 called and what is statement 2 called? Yes, anyone? Bolge sir. Samajit says 1 is argument and 2 is parameter. Okay. 1 argument, 2 parameter. Snehas. 1 is argument, 2 is parameter. 1 is argument, 2 is parameter. Exactly. right? So this right here is called as an argument, and this right here is called as a parameter, right? Acha, one more important concept, right? You, as I told you, right, functions are block of code that can be used multiple number of times, right? So how do we use it multiple number of times? Again, let's suppose this time I want the sum of 30 plus 40, right? If I do upload again, right? So the first statement is printing the result 30, right, as expected. Whereas the second statement, right, it is printing the result 70, that is 30 plus 40. Again, you might ask me that how is it working? How are we able to send two values with two different, uh, how are we able to send two different values in the same function, right? We can. And that is the sole purpose. That is the sole purpose why we use functions, right? We use functions to avoid writing multiple lines of codes, right? We only have a single function, and that function we can invoke multiple number of times by passing different arguments, right? So what will happen here is it will just see, okay, I've declared a function, it will just match the keyword function here, right? Then it will just see, okay, I have two arguments here, so it will just match A with 10 and it will just match B with 20, as simple as that. So again, what will be the answer here? 10 plus 20. Again, what's 10 plus 20? It's 30, right? I hope everyone knows this basic math, right? Now, what is 30 plus 4? Why is it working now? So let me just undo all the things. So let me just take the screenshot again. Just give me a second. Yeah. Now, in this case, what is happening is, again, I've again declared a function, right? It is again coming here, matching the name. Okay, so I have found a function name fn. Then it has got two arguments, number A and number B. So now A has a value of 30 and B has a value of 40. And just we are doing A plus B. That is, what do you say, 30 plus 40. That's equal to 70 in that case, right? So I have passed 30 and 14 arguments, and I have A and B in the parameters. Params. I'll call it params for now, short form. Okay, let me just type it, right? Let me just call it parameters, and let me just call these two as arguments. I've used these names multiple number of times. That is, I think I'm sure that we will not forget it in a lifetime. Difference between arguments and parameters, right? So this is what you have in the argument section and the parameter section here. Yes, they use as parameter. Right? Acha, any doubts still here? Anyone? If you have doubts, just tell me. If you have no doubts, just type in no, that I can get to know. Are you guys able to understand the concepts that are being taught? Right? Functions and what all we did? We did looping. Is it clear? Okay, I use this. Yes. What about others? No, sir. Crystal clear. Thanks, Utpal. Your better code. Acha, later. I'll tell you later. When he says movie, what do you mean by movie? You want to watch a movie, right? You can watch it after the lecture. Not. Oh, you meant to say that this is like a movie. So you said move. Okay. ठीक है. I guess I'll tell you what the return statement does there. चलो. अच्छा ठीक है. So many of you are asking what the return statement, right? Again, it's very simple. So if you are just declaring a function, right? It is expected that if you're declaring a function, that means you have to return something at least. So instead of this, right, I can just do return A plus B. Return A plus B. And if I do console.log here, console, not confirm, console.log this. Okay. Now it will also behave the same way, right? If you do console.log fn10 plus fn10 and 20, and if I return from here, it will just behave the same way as we are doing console.log in the above section. If you don't believe me, I'll just run the code, and here you can see 30, right? 30 and acha, I'm not console.log. Let me just do it here as well. Console.log, it was 30 and 40. Right? So again, you get the same answer here as well, 30 and 40. But what is the difference here? That we are returning. Why do we return? Because it is expected that if we are using any function, right, it is expected to return some values, right? So again, I'm just wanting to print. I just wanted to print the sum of two numbers. I'm just returning a plus b, and I'm just printing the value function here. As simple as that, right? Sir, continue JS series. We want to learn in depth. Better code. I wish I had that much of time to just go into depth, but due to time constraints, I'm also very bound to just touch the basics and just cover the most important parts. But if you want to go to the if you want to go into depth, we have full-time paid courses as well, which will cover each and every concept, each and everything into depth, right? Acha, talking about the courses, so and also marking the attendance. So for marking the attendance, let's just go on to this website, LetsUpgrade.in. The link is there in the description box, as simple as that, and sign in the page, right? So once you sign in, you will have just, if you have not already enrolled, just enroll onto this bootcamp, right? The JavaScript one. And you will have the my program section. Once you go to the my program section, here you will see the JavaScript playlist, right? And so today is day 2, right? You have an option to mark the attendance. Just click on mark the attendance here, right? Just give it ratings. These are the 2 programs that currently we're having, right? So I'll just tell you about these programs, and if you have any feedbacks, I'll just do nothing for now, right? And I'll just save the attendance part, right? And if I just scroll the refresh my page, now it has gone to 46.15%, right? And today you also have an assignment, so please make sure that you are submitting the assignments also, right? In order to be eligible for the certificates. You'll be only eligible for certificates once this percentage bar crosses more than 50%, right? Not before that. And talking about courses, currently we have 2 courses. One is the Java DSA and one is the full stack development, right? I think who was it? It was, I think, your better side. I mean, I always tell you guys to please come in the to just come by your own name, right? Not have these fancy names. So I think it was better, your better side also. If I'm not wrong, it was, yeah. So please continue, Chase. Yeah, it was your better side. So if you want to just just go to each and everything's in depth. If you're really interested, you can just opt for this full stack development course, right? It will be an in-depth course covering all the concepts, giving you placement assistance and many more things, right? So you can just go through this part. And we also have a Java and DSA program for those who are interested in Java and DSA problems, right? More than 100 problems to solve, 120 hours of live learning, and the best part is you can get the placement assistance. You have 100% placements here, right here. All right. Chalo. With that being said, let me just also walk you through the B.Tech program. What's that? A quiz. So sorry guys, the quiz will not be held today due to some time constraints again. But don't worry, the quiz will be definitely happening tomorrow. So all the concepts that you did, please make sure to revise them again for tomorrow's quiz. There'll be a quiz tomorrow, definitely at 7:20, right? Today we are not able to do the quiz due to some time constraints, and I had some topics to cover today because yesterday we were not able to cover all the topics. So today I had to cover the topics as well. So, but do not worry. Tomorrow for sure we'll be having a quiz, and I told you, right, the prices will be the same. Okay. So if I go to the YouTube channel, right? Yes, how do we upload the assignments? You can upload the site assignments on GitHub, but if you're not comfortable with GitHub, you can also, just write the code on Google Doc link and just attach the Google Doc link in the uh, place where it has to meant to be attached, right? So let's go to LetsUpgrade. Okay. This is me, and you have description. Go to the description box. Yeah, here is the B.Tech program, right? For those of you, suppose sir, course discount event when? Tomorrow. Tomorrow there will be a quiz. In that you'll get a course discount. Okay. Yeah. So this is a B.Tech program that we are offering, right? How is it different from the normal B.Tech programs? Is that in here you get a normal. In here you get the normal. You get the placement assistance, right? Whenever you graduate after 4 years, you'll have a short placement, and that to the minimum of 8 LPs, and plus you'll also get an short internship, that too in a final year, and that too will be paid, right? So if you're someone who's looking for pursuing B.Tech and who are looking for good colleges, you might try out this option, right? It is it will just provide it will also provide you 100% placement guarantee as well. Okay. And if you have any doubts, you can just scroll up to the page. You can just get back to the team. They'll surely revert back to you, right? And if you think that you have your cousins or friends or anyone who is thinking of pursuing B.Tech, you can also share them this referral link, right? The best part is the best part here is if they join here with your referral link, you are eligible for rupees 80,000 or a MacBook Air 1. Right, so it's up to you whether you itself want to join it. You are still in the 12th grade, or you are still a dropper who is looking to pursue B.Tech. You can just approach that. Plus, if you have someone, cousins, friends, anyone who would like to refer them, you can also refer them by your referral link, right? As most of you are facing difficulty with the assignment, so how do we get the assignments here? Again, I told you, right? Just go on to my programs. If you have already enrolled, first enroll in this program. Then just go on to just JavaScript Bootcamp session and just click on view assignment here. This is the assignment. Write a JavaScript function called minmax. Again, just go through the assignment and just write this assignment. You have two options, either to submit the GitHub link, or you can also submit the Google Doc link. It's up to you, right? And the certificates will only be available once, first of all, after the bootcamp will be over, and once this bar crosses 50%, not before that. What is the other way of submitting assignments except GitHub? So it is just go to Google Docs. This is Google Docs, right? Just go to Google Docs and just type in the code here. Sign in. Just type in the code and just submit this link, right? Let's suppose I do console.log a plus b, right? So this is again, right? So write a code here and go to the share option. Just save it first, and just make sure that you are giving the view access, right? Anyone with this link can view. Just copy this link from here. Just go on to this website. Just I would say, yeah, submit the assignment. Just copy the link and just submit it, right? If you want to add some details, like, hey, this is the assignment A2 code submitted, right? UMPMI submit, right? Just submit it and then you're good to go. That's how you will submit the assignment. Okay, with that being said, let's wind up today's session. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's session, right? Tomorrow we'll be continuing with arrays, objects, and DOM. So please make sure to revise, and please make sure that you're revising for the quiz as well. Tomorrow we'll be having a quiz. And with that being said, I'll take your leave. Make sure to code and make sure to practice. Yeah. So bye everyone.